Creature Commandos is the first thing James Gunn released after taking over DC completely, and it's 100% canon in the new DCU. The show itself isn't super serious, it's fun and weird in a way that's very James Gunn. Other than being canon, it's also a big deal because it defines what parts of past DC projects are still canon. For example, James Gunn directed the Suicide Squad before the reboot of the DCU and becoming CEO. If we hear something from Suicide Squad in Creature Commandos, it's canon. If we don't, it's probably not. Same goes for Peacemaker Season 1. So this show is important if you want to follow the DCU as a whole, because it's also introducing characters who will appear in future movies. For instance, Rick Flag Sr., who is in Superman, first appears in this show. Clayface is another example. He's getting his own solo movie, and he appears in Creature Commandos first. The whole series so far is 7 episodes, around 150 minutes total runtime. It feels like a movie split into 7 parts because it's one single arc from start to finish. If you liked Superman and you are invested in the new DCU, I definitely recommend checking it out. And you can also subscribe to me because I'll be covering it as best as I can. So what's the actual story? It starts 2 years after the Suicide Squad and Corto Maltese operation. After the mission, the Senate basically said, you can't do that. Even if they're criminals, sending people on suicide missions for the United States is too cruel. You can't use humans for this. And Amanda Waller, who is still played by Viola Davis continuing her role after the Suicide Squad, thinks, they said I can't do this with humans, but what if I build a Suicide Squad out of criminals who technically aren't humans but creatures? So the Creature Commandos were born. To lead them, Rick Flag Sr. is appointed. He's the father of Rick Flag Jr., the guy we know from the Suicide Squad, and he's basically a chill dude trying to do his best, with a different moral compass than his son. Let's run through the team members, and my advice is wait until the end before deciding they are boring. Rick Flag Sr., the leader of the group, working for Amanda Waller like his son, but way more relaxed and morally flexible. The Bride. She's basically a female version of Frankenstein, created to be the bride of Frankenstein. But clearly, things didn't go as planned because now she's running away from Frankenstein for hundreds of years. GI Robot, a war robot built in World War II to destroy Nazis. His entire personality revolves around how much he loves eliminating Nazis. He's voiced by Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, and honestly, you gotta imagine that conversation. Hey bro, I'm writing a character for this new show who is obsessed with killing Nazis, and half his lines are about how much he enjoys and adores the act of eliminating Nazis. Yeah bro, please give me that job. I want to talk about ending Nazis so bad. Like, is this totally normal family behavior? Nothing suspicious? But gotta give it to them, this character is the funniest. The Weasel. He survived the Suicide Squad and is also voiced by Sean Gunn. Nothing more, just a weasel. Dr. Phosphorus, a Batman villain, once a scientist, now a radioactive crime lord, well, used to be a crime lord before he got caught by Batman, and his power is he can burn anything he touches. Nina Mazursky, basically a human-fish hybrid with her head in an aquarium and water-based powers. Frankenstein, yes, the Frankenstein, and his life goal is to track down the bride and live happily ever after with her. When you hear about them, they might sound dull like any average comic book character, but the way James Gunn handles them in this show, and this might be his superpower, they end up feeling important. He's got this talent for taking characters who seem unlovable and making audiences connect with them. Creature Commandos is the perfect showcase of James Gunn's this talent. And I think you can understand this better if you watched Superman, because side characters on Superman are also amazing. When I first started watching this show, I wasn't interested in any of these characters. By the end, I wanted to know more about every single one. The animation style isn't groundbreaking, but it's fresh and fun, pretty normal for a team-based show. Personally, I think it's better to spend more time developing characters and spending time with the gang than waiting 3 years for a flashy animation in team-based shows. One thing you might see as a problem, the show doesn't have much runtime. When you try to give every character a personal arc in just 7 episodes, there's not a lot of space left for them to shine as a team. So season 1 kind of feels like getting to know the team, but in my opinion, it's still worth it because it's a fun intro to the new era of DCU, and some of these characters will show up later in bigger projects. And also, don't forget this is an adult show. These guys are criminals, well, mostly, and James Gunn doesn't take it lightly. It just shows that some criminals are relatable and likable on some levels. so add that to your expectations. On IMDb, the show is rated at 7.8, which I would say is pretty fair. It's definitely good, but how much you like it depends on your personal taste and how much the jokes will land on you. I'm not going to summarize the entire plot here in this video, but if you're not planning to watch the show and want to stay caught up on the DCU, these guys on New Rockstars did a pretty good job summarizing it. So I'd recommend watching their video. And if you're looking for something more serious, I recommend Andor. I think it's the best show of 2025 and the year hasn't even finished. And I've got a video talking about that right here as well.